Hey guys, welcome back to our Lightworks version 14 tutorial series. Today we're going to start with just some simple basics on how to use Lightworks version 14. First, you'll notice if you've used Lightworks before, you'll see a completely different viewpoint is when you log in. It's been completely redesigned and a much cleaner, easier way to use this project. The first thing I want to show you guys is just we want to make sure, especially for the novice person, the person that hasn't been using Lightworks in the past, just a simple system setting that we want to check. Um, and the first thing we want to do is we're just going to click on up here in this top right, the system settings is gear. We're going to click on that, and this is the first thing I want you guys to make sure that you're checking out right here is where it says project layout. We want this to say fixed. Um, wherein in the past, in other Lightworks versions, it was flexible. It was a little more difficult to use, or if you're used to it, it's obviously much more what you would rather use. But for our newer people and people that are just now trying Lightworks for the first time, this is the one we want them to make sure that we're on is fixed. And then at this point, you can go ahead and you can begin your projects. Now, if you've already got a project or a video that's already been started, they're going to be right here on this visual tile. And you would just double click on that and it would open. But since we're starting a new project today, we're just going to go ahead and do that right there. We're just going to call this Lightworks tutorial. Now, frame rate, great options here on this that you didn't used to have. We like to either choose auto or mixed rates just to kind of keep it as open and as flexible as possible so that different shots can be used and mixed together and manipulated. Then you just go ahead and hit create. Now, once you do that, you're going to have four different tabs at the top, and these are basically your four different settings that we want to click through. The first one is what we're going to focus on today, and that's the log. The log is basically where you're going to it's basically a list of all the video and audio segments that you have stored into your Lightworks video project in its contents. So in order to do that, we want to add video files. Um, and we have several different options as to where we can choose them from. Local files is basically asking us where on the computer is your video files or your audio files that you want to add into your project content. Local just meaning your physical computer. So we want to choose by clicking on places here the SD card that we have plugged in. This is SD card 15 for us. We're just going to go ahead and find our video clips on here. And these are a couple of my students, and I hope they don't mind how we're doing this, but we're just going to kind of look through and see how they did. Now we have two different options of adding them into our project contents. Either A, you can double click on the image on the thumbnail and it'll automatically save it to the project contents. Or if you click on it, you can then at the bottom here click that import button just by selecting it. But typically, if it's just one clip that I want to use, I'll just double click on it. But in this case, since there are several clips that I want to use, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to click on, I don't know, 3 or 4 different ones here and just click on those and then hit import. And you'll see that it comes up really very quickly. And now those files are no longer just in the local files, but now in the project contents. Okay, and it's just that simple, and that's it. That's all you need to know on how to upload a video file into your time. Now, as we move into the next step, you have several different options of how to move these video clips out of your project contents into your linear timeline. Now, your linear timeline is located under this tab here called Edit, and that's obviously you can see it right here, all the different viewpoints that we're looking for. And you can adjust these to however you want. You have your project contents here, your timeline, and then this is your preview screen. I like to have that a little bit larger as we're going through this. Now, there's several different ways that you can do this. You can just simply click on a clip, um, and then you can hit play in the video sequence line. And I like to go ahead and that's one way you can do it. You just kind of use the arrow keys and you can play and record it or put it in. The easiest, and I got to tell you guys, is probably the simplest way to do it, and this is the way I tell the students to do it, is just they're used to doing it um, in an Apple sort of way, and that's just to grab it and drag it down into your timeline. Okay, and it's honestly it's very easy to do that, and it's much simpler in a lot of ways to just kind of drag and drop. Now you do have the options of watching each individual clip in your preview screen and adding an in mark and an out mark and then dropping it in, and then you'll only drop in that particular clip or that part of the clip. But I like to think of it as a, well, what if I need more of something later on? I can simply edit it from here. And that's really about it, guys. At this point, all you can do is, all you want to do is just kind of drop it in. You can drop in as many of them as you want, each individual clip, you know, and just add them right into your timeline, and that's really it, guys. All right, I hope that helps. It's the most basic uh, Lightworks version 14 task. So I'll see you next time.